Choosing a niche is a decision that's overwhelming for beginners starting their agency for good reason. You believe that if you choose the wrong niche, you'll never see success, and while this isn't entirely true, your niche does have a role to play in how successful you are. Sometimes niches just don't work, no matter how much brute force you use. In this video, I'm going to be going through how you can choose the right niche if you're a complete beginner. Guys, don't forget, if you haven't already, register for the upcoming Leads on Demand event happening on 29th of October, 6 p.m. PDT time, and October 30th, 3 p.m. GMT time. I remember when I was starting out, I was very overwhelmed with what niche I should go into. I couldn't decide, and I spent weeks on this until someone told me to choose one of three niches: solar, real estate, or medical businesses. Now, I went into real estate because it was the only industry that kind of interested me. I get asked multiple times per week now, what is the best niche? And the truth is, there is no perfect niche. Just like there is no perfect outreach method, no perfect script. Now, yes, there is certain criteria, and that's what I'm going to be sharing in this video, as well as some niches that I believe you should avoid and others that I think are easy. First, here are some general rules when picking a niche. A lot of people will say you have to go after a proven and saturated niche. Now, this isn't always true. Of course, it's better to follow someone who's already done it, but you can easily go after a niche that isn't well known and be the go-to guy or gal in that space and be the pioneer. This is a little harder, but it can be done. I want you to go after larger niches and don't want you to do like 6,000 pieces of outreach and then have contacted all of the businesses. That will never work for you. You must make sure the niche is large enough for you to get enough leads. The next thing to keep in mind, they must sell a high ticket product or service. Advertising for local handyman and getting them a $50 or $100 job is not going to work. I like to make sure the product or service is at least $500. Now, it can be a little less if the lifetime value is there and they get a lot of repeat business. If it's not around that, I found the margins are just too thin and there just isn't any profit. You also need to be able to contact the business owner directly. I can't remember who it was, but it was a student and they wanted to go into this weird obscure niche and they couldn't find any of the decision makers' information and had to go through like 4 different people. This isn't going to work. You must have easy access to the business owner's information. You need to also choose a niche that's growing, a niche that will always be in demand year round. You don't want something seasonal. You want their service to be a need. I also think it's important that you actually enjoy and you like that niche. This isn't a must, but because everyone's different, but it does help when you genuinely have an interest in their space. So those are just a few things that I look for when choosing a niche. Now, you may be like, okay, Cody, that's cool and all, but can you give me some examples? So here are some examples of niches that I'd avoid. Restaurants and cafes. I think this is obvious just because of the low margins. I did actually do social media management for them, and if you want something super low ticket, maybe $200 a month, then sure, but they can't afford a $1,000 retainer unless they're a crazy successful restaurant or cafe, and at that point, do they really need you? Probably not. Bars, handymen, plumbers. Now, plumbers is an interesting one because I've seen mixed results with this. That's why I'm saying to avoid it. Google ads don't really work, at least in Australia, because it's way too expensive and way too competitive. The cost per click is like $50, so it's just not worth it. I would also avoid e-commerce. The amount of people thinking that they can just go into e-com and sign clients quickly and charge them a percentage of revenue and become rich is crazy. There is zero chance that you're going to sign a client when you're a newbie. Well, I shouldn't say zero because anything is possible, but the reality is it's unlikely. The reason is they know what they're doing. They're probably running ads already and they're doing it themselves and they know more than you do. So why are they going to hire you? They're only going to work with someone who has fantastic results. SaaS is another niche I would avoid. When I say SaaS, I don't mean go high level. The reason is, again, it's very difficult to get results for. It's more complex, requiring more complex strategies, and it's something a beginner just isn't equipped for. You don't have the experience. So those are the niches that I would avoid. Let's go through some that I think are easy and pretty simple to get results for. First up is the home services niche. This includes anything from cleaners, carpet cleaners, window cleaners, commercial cleaners, roofing, pest control, kitchen and bathroom renovation, landscape, solar, HVAC, concreters, painters, junk removal. Basically anything in the home improvement space is very easy to get results for. Other niches that are good are hair salons, beauty clinics, cosmetic clinics, plastic surgeons, we've got med spas, Real estate agents, the only thing that I've found here with real estate agents, speaking from experience, is when you're a beginner, you don't know how to sell and you're selling to experienced salespeople. So it can be very daunting and a little challenging if you're nervous. Car dealers, the auto body shops that do like ceramic coatings, wraps, and all that stuff are great. Mortgage brokers, dentists, chiros, most doctors, you can say. However, in Australia, you want to avoid orthodontists and some specialized doctor. That's just in Australia. I'm not sure about the US because they're booked out usually 3 or 4 months in advance, simply with referrals. There are so many other great niches, but I wanted to give you an idea of some niches that you could possibly go into. Don't overthink. Pick something and just run with it, because anything and everything works. If you haven't already, go register for the upcoming live event, and I'll see you in the next video.